lower back is killing me, and I must confess, so on my knees, on my knees. If you are in your 30s or 40s and have any kind of lower back issues or pain, welcome, my friend. I see you, I feel you, and let's suffer together. If you are one of those lucky unicorns who doesn't have any back issues, honestly, congratulations. This video is probably not for you. Go and check my other videos. Still here? Great! In this video will be a lot of whining, suffering, and storytelling about my disc herniation and discectomy. I can't wait to tell you. Hi everyone, I'm Olga from Ukraine. I know, this might be not exactly what I originally planned to post on this channel, but it's now a part of my life and I feel like it's important to talk about, at least important for me. I watched many videos on YouTube about disc herniations and discectomy from people all over the world, and I found them incredibly helpful and supportive. They gave me hope and peace when I needed it most. So I sincerely hope that my video can bring at least a little help to someone who's going through the same thing. A little prequel. I've had my lower back pain since my mid-20s. It came and went. Each episode would last a few weeks and then disappear. I never thought it was anything serious. When I was 28, during one of these episodes, I had my first MRI. It showed a few small bulges, just a few millimeters, in several discs. But life went on. I had a child, I worked full-time. By the way, I am working on a computer, so I spent nearly 100% of my working time sitting in a chair. I started to feel that something was wrong in summer 2024. I had pain in my back and went through my usual treatment. Visits to my vertebrologist, manual therapy, painkillers, muscle block injections, and exercises prescribed by my doctor. But this time, the symptoms didn't go away. They bothered me off and all until winter 2024, so more than 6 months. That's when I decided that I've had enough and did another MRI. In Ukraine, we can do it at our own expense without a doctor's prescription. There are many private medical centers and labs when you can get almost any test if you can afford it. The MRI cost me around 2,000 hryvnias, it's about $50. So my MRI showed I had a herniated disc this time, about 8 mm, with a tendency towards sequestration. If you are familiar, disc herniation progresses through several stages. The first one is bulging, the disc starts to deform. Second one, protrusion, when the inner gel pushes against the outer wall. Third one, extrusion, the gel breaks through the outer layer but still connected with the main part of the gel. And fourth one, sequestration, when the piece of disc is fully separated and leaks out. At that point, I was in stage 3, slowly progressing to stage 4. That was very bad news, so I decided to act. I started exercising regularly and going to the gym. Surprisingly, my condition improved. I was happy. I felt strong, like I had found the solution. But, here comes the but. I have no idea what exactly went wrong. After one of my gym sessions, with personal trainer by the way, I experienced major muscle soreness, the kind you get after working out a bit too hard. It was normal at first, but then I started to feel a burning pain in my right buttock and hip. It was constant and triggered by even the smallest movement. The muscle soreness went away in a few days, but this burning pain stayed. I continued going to the gym, mostly ignoring it. It wasn't unbearable, in fact, it sometimes got better even after exercising. This continued for several months. Then I went on vacation and I spent many hours driving, about 8-10 hours for a few days. The pain was with me the whole time. After we returned, I got a flu. I think it was COVID because I lost my sense of smell and taste and felt absolutely terrible. And then, on the first day after vacation, while working from home, I sneezed. And just like that, I got my massive herniation. The moment it happened, I knew it was bad, really bad. I had sharp, intense pain in my lower back and down my entire right leg, through my buttock, hip, calf, and even into my toes. Later that day, my leg started to go numb. The pain kept getting worse. The next day I went to an MRI. The results were devastating. I had a huge herniation, 10 millimeters. The pain just kept getting worse and worse, to the point when I couldn't walk, stand, sit, or even lie down comfortably. I couldn't sleep. I was just crying from the pain, and it was really, really, really bad state. And then most interesting part began. Main act. So picture this. I dragged myself to the regional hospital, neurosurgery department, already half broken, half desperate. The doctor looks at me and goes, "We'll go with a steroid shot into your facet joint." At that point, I was in so much pain, I would have agreed to the medical exorcism if it helped. Now in Ukraine, this is technically a one-day hospitalization, which sounds chill, but don't be fooled. You come with all your tests done, they poke you, you scream, you sleep over, and voila, one day. Honestly, it was very, very painful. You are already in pain due to the herniation, and the surgeon can't actually see your nerves, he only sees the bones on the X-ray. His signal that he's reached the right place is your scream. Nice. So we did that, and it was fun. I spent the night lying perfectly still like a piece of furniture, no one's allowed to move. Next morning, the surgeon checks me and goes, "Wow, it actually worked." That was the first time I have heard that my herniation was quite big, and they were not sure if this injection will help. But it helped, indeed. I didn't feel a thing, no pain, only numbness. And at home I felt okay, I kind of accepted my condition, that all hospitalization, drugs, stay, everything cost me around 10,000 hryvnias, it is about $235. Somewhere in a week, my husband, God bless him, said, "Hey, I heard about this professor, a great neurosurgeon, maybe we should see him." And I was like, "Why? I'm fine. I've already suffered a lot in the hospital. What can he possibly tell me?" But my husband persuaded me, and we met this guy. He listened to my story and said, "Stand on your heel." And I couldn't stand on my injured leg. "Go on your heels." Again, I couldn't. I just dropped my foot and that's it. That's when I got scared. Apparently, I had foot paresis, partial paralysis, and I didn't even notice because I hadn't been moving much. The professor explained that most herniations can be treated without surgery, but my paresis is on the few absolute indications for surgery. Together with cauda equina syndrome or horse's tail. If you know, you know. If you don't know, trust me, you don't wanna know. But I will tell you. This is a condition, a neurosurgical emergency, that occurs when nerve roots in the lower part of the spinal cord become compressed. The syndrome is characterized by severe back pain, loss of sensation in the perineum and inner side, and impaired bladder, bowel, and lower limb function. Professor told me that I have a few weeks for surgery due to my foot paresis and possible complications. We went home to discuss, and I saw two options. National Healthcare Institution proposed me microdiscectomy option. In Ukraine, it would be around a week hospitalization and would cost me around 40-50 grounds of Ukrainian hryvnias or $1,200. But I had the medical insurance from work, thanks God, and I'm quite lucky one. It is not very common in Ukraine, so I could use it and have an endoscopic discectomy in private hospital. That should have cost me around 140,000 Ukrainian hryvnias or $3,300. Actually, the long-term consequences are similar, but it will be one-day hospitalization and faster recovery. I met a surgeon at private clinic and I liked him a lot, so I decided to trust him. Culmination. Thus, I had endoscopic surgery. And let me tell you, surgery was great. I was worried in vain. You fell asleep and you wake up in a few hours and that's pretty much it. No pain, but actually I had almost nothing of it before the surgery. I had a steroid shot, remember? Paresis was with me, but I was told before the surgery that it will need a few months to recover from that. The real drama wasn't even the surgery, it was my insurance company, as they initially refused to pay for the surgery, and I spent my days before the surgery not worrying about surgery, but in discussion with insurance company, writing emails, making phone calls, and fearing how much it is gonna cost me. I didn't have time to be afraid of surgery. So they dismissed me from the clinic next day with a bunch of painkillers and my relaxants. I enjoyed them as well as sleep and rest. I even got bored a bit on my sick leave. That's when I decided to have YouTube channel and now I am paying the price. After that started my physical and emotional roller coaster. Roller coaster. Honestly, I think neurosurgeons spend way too little time explaining what comes after the surgery. Because when you come back home, you actually have to leave somehow. I received very poor recommendations. To limit physical activity for a month, don't lift more than 10 kilos, which honestly I wasn't planning to do anyway. Don't sit for 7 days, treat the wound with antiseptic, and that's it. The first week after surgery was amazing. I slept a lot thanks to the muscle relaxants, felt no pain at all thanks to a generous amount of painkillers, and generally thought, wow, I'm back. That was easy. 10 days have passed, all the meds were gone, and suddenly I started feeling what my body actually felt like, and it felt not good. Honestly, I thought I had a new herniated disc. The pain in my leg came back, not 100% but strong enough to send me straight into the panic. As I didn't have better choice and was very anxious, I watched a ton of videos on YouTube from other people after discectomy, and that's when I realized this happens to a lot of people. A kind of setback around day 7, day 10. Over the next few weeks, things slowly improved. Some days I felt almost nothing, other days the pain returned. I also had numbness and tingling. I also had numbness and tingling in the affected leg, especially in my toes, occasional cramps, sometimes pretty intense, usually during exercises. Psychologically, it was very hard. Every bad day, I was convinced the surgery had failed, or that I had ruined everything by sitting, lifting something too heavy, bending the wrong way, or even just turning incorrectly. I was extremely careful. My stitches were removed on day 18. I asked my surgeon, so how long will it still hurt? The answer was, what did you expect? It's a hernia. Not really inspiring. The worst part was that I didn't understand how to start moving again and return to a normal, full life. I began walking around week 3. Firstly for 15-20 minutes, then gradually longer, but every time there came a moment when I really needed to lie down and rest. By the way, I wore a special post-hernia corset. The doctor didn't recommend it, but didn't forbid it either. I already had one from previous back pain episodes, and honestly, with it I felt much better, more confident, and could stay upright longer. At week 5, I went to a rehabilitation specialist with one clear goal: strong back muscles and no repeat hernias. Unfortunately, here in Ukraine, this isn't very common. There is no standard protocol that everyone after surgery must do physical therapy, which is a shame. The surgeon said, walking is all you need. The rehab specialist, of course, recommended exercises, leg massage, and electrical muscle stimulation. I still had foot paresis. 10 sessions of each. At first, I went to rehab 2-3 times a week. I remember how scared I was to move and do any exercises. I saw several specialists and they all had very different approaches, which was really confusing. One focused on strength training for glutes and thighs and hip mobility, another emphasized stretching and spinal mobility. I also exercised at home every day. At some point, I clearly overdid it. I had severe muscle soreness again and a very scary pain in my thigh, very similar to hernia pain. Panic attack again. I was afraid to train, cried a lot, and felt weak and sick again. I desperately wanted to get another MRI, and at the same time I was afraid of what it might show. Plus, not much time had passed since my surgery, so would it even be useful? My husband tried to calm me down, while I insisted that I wanted an MRI every 2 weeks. That's how anxious I become. In conclusion, looking back now, I can clearly see real progress in my strength and physical condition. Today, it's been 3.5 months since surgery. Most days are pain-free. I can walk for hours now. When I cook or take care of my son or take him to school, I don't immediately run to lie down. I can sit for a short time, even though the doctor said not to sit only for the first week. I still avoid it much longer. Maybe that was overcautious, but sitting feel uncomfortable still. My lower back gets tired quickly and my leg reminds me it still exists. Recently I started driving again, something I missed terribly, especially the freedom that comes with it. It's not always painless. If I drive longer than 20-30 minutes, I feel some pain in my leg. Thankfully, by next day this pain usually goes away. I no longer have symptoms of foot paresis, but the affected leg is still slightly weaker than the healthy one. Is it normal? I don't know. Doctors say recovery is very individual and symptoms resolve differently for everyone. I hope the day will come when I can live completely without pain. That's my dream. The neurosurgeons who operated on and consulted me said that full recovery can take from 9 to 12 months. I still do my exercise daily and now see my rehabilitation specialist once a week. I'm still figuring out how to return fully to normal life and most importantly, how to become stronger than I was before and have a healthy back. Now I understand how important that is. After watching countless videos and talking with my rehab specialist, I've come to realize that my main mistake was not moving enough. No regular physical activity, too much sitting and occasional heavy physical work. Now I believe my back problems are linked to weak glute and thigh muscles and limited hip mobility. I hope that's true and that I'm finally moving in the right direction. Only time will tell, but I've learned one thing for sure. The price for mistakes is very high. I'm still not living a full life yet. I work lying down, I can't travel, I feel pain in my leg and overall fatigue even after simple house cleaning or long walk. Sometimes I feel like giving up and start worrying whether I'll ever live normally again or if this pain is here to stay forever. And I'm afraid of getting another herniated disc. I'm afraid of getting pregnant and giving birth. I feel guilty because I can't fully spend time with my son. Because mom can't build Lego, mom's back hurt, mom needs to rest. Some days I'm strong and hopeful, other days, well, not too much. But I'm still moving forward, even if very slowly, even if carefully. I don't have all answers yet, but I haven't given up. If you are curious about anything else or feel I didn't explain something well enough, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to help and support anyone going through this. You are not alone and things will get better. Lots of love from Ukraine. Bye!